right, hopefully Leslie will come back and join us. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden my audio went blank or you couldn't hear me. This is Stacy Essner with Coffee Talk. Hopefully Leslie will come back and join me. So let me see if I can get her back. Um, so let me see if I can get her to join us. All right, there we go. Much better. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened there. So, so, uh, so the wildfires, when do they, I mean, you said, when is typically the season for them?
It kind of depends on our weather. This year we've had a lot more rain than is typical. So, we have a friend that works for Cal Fire and he says it doesn't matter. We're still going to get those fires. But typically summer, I would say maybe August, September.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've had a lot more rain, do you think that will impact the severity of them?
Yeah, I'm curious. I kind of thought that it would help, but our friend who works for Cal Fire was saying it also has created a lot more brush because we had a lot more growth in some areas,
Uh,
So then as we go longer, as we come through the summertime, and don't get the rain, we'll kind of face,
right,
still kind of be in that. I said so. It kind of seems like a no-win situation, right? Rain, no
right.
rain, we're still going to get wildfires. So.
Right. And how far are you from the area that really gets impacted by the fires?
Um, I mean, we've had sometimes they're going they're kind of been all over, Stacey. I can't really say. I mean, not really local. We do have this is considered a high fire zone behind me. PV estates but we don't haven't really had problems with this area, so it's more um, I don't know, like east of us.
Okay. Well,
But
that's
I mean,
good.
even Northern California, sometimes when they're having, their fire season, we do get the smoke down here.
Right. The smoke, but I'm just talking more about like how you um, advise your potential sellers or your buyers during that process. Like
Yeah,
how does
it's
that affect you during,
it's not
wildfire
not
season?
really something that we deal with here in the South Bay in terms of it actually being directly impacting us.
Got it. Got it. And so South Bay, what areas does that encompass? Because I'm familiar more with like, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, that area. So where's South Bay in
So
relation to all that?
that is the South Bay, except it's
Okay.
just a larger area than that. So the South Bay would include Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Torrance, Palos Verdes, as far east, I guess, as Carson, um, El Segundo. So it's a
Oh,
fairly
okay.
large area, kind of south of Los Angeles. But I guess we tend to think of it, or I tend to think of it for myself as far as the areas that I mostly focus on. So Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, Palos Verdes, Torrance is kind of more the hub.
Got it. So I know, traffic wise, that could like how far do you travel? Because I know it can take you a while to get from one area to the other. So what's your,
Yeah, interesting enough, I went to the Magic Castle, which is in LA
I've
last
been
night.
there.
Okay. And it's probably about 15 miles, and it was, probably a good hour and a half, if not longer, commute. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think kind of working probably like a 10-mile radius is probably more realistic. I mean, most people who work in the beach cities, again, that's kind of, I guess, you have the South Bay, and then within the South Bay, you have the beach cities, and um, most people, I guess, would kind of focus more on that. But of course, if you have clients, that I mean, we would travel for business just depending on the specific situation. But yes, traffic is definitely an issue here.
But so do most of the I mean, so you do South Bay, so you have a big area. You're traveling a large. I mean, it's almost like me. I not just work in Chicago in the city. I work in the suburbs as well,
Right.
where some agents will just focus on, Chicago, and some agents will just focus on one suburb. Um,
Right. And I think
so
our communities here are, sometimes in certain areas, I used to live in Texas, you do have really well defined communities where here they're not so well defined. So I think it's kind of to your point that we don't have just one specific area where it's, a bedroom community that you just like, that's your area. It is a little bit more widespread.
mhm. So yeah, it's very interesting when you speak to people in different parts of the country, how they market and how they, you know, the areas that they cover, because some people are just so hyper local
Right.
and
Hyper specific.
hyper specific. Exactly. So you did marketing before this, right? And so what made you go into real estate, or why did you decide to switch?
I think a number of reasons. I mean, really for a long time, I've been interested in real estate. My husband, at one point in time, bought some rental properties that we held and flipped. And his background is he's done construction, he studied architecture. So together, like it's always been something that we've been kind of passionate about. Um, but my career previous to this, like you said, it was in marketing, media, sales. And so the part of that job that I really enjoyed was helping people, like seeing customers grow, helping them like define their business plans and their marketing plans, and just seeing, the evolution of their businesses based on, helping them achieve certain things. So it was something that I had thought about for a long time, but not taken the step, as many of us do, kind of like have that dream in mind, but really like deciding to go for it takes a little nudge. And about 5 years ago, my husband suffered a severe surfing accident, and I was at my job in Anaheim, which is about an hour away, when I got a call from our hospital up here, and they said that they had a John Doe that might be my husband, and they didn't know if he was going to make it, and that I needed to get to the hospital. And I think, I mean, once we got past that whole experience, it kind of was a catalyst for me just to, like, A, I didn't want to be so far from home. B, I wanted to live my dream, and my dream had been, starting a real estate career. And I just thought, there's no more time to waste.
Right. Wow. And I mean, your husband's okay?
He is, yeah. I mean, he was non-responsive for a couple of days. It took them 12 minutes to bring him in once somebody realized that there was a surfboard out there with no one attached. So, he had some recovery time, but yeah, he's okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. So you were doing marketing for other people. Now you're marketing yourself. So what is
Marketing
that like?
myself and marketing my clients, right? I mean,
Right.
especially on the listing side, but
On the
yeah.
listening side, but marketing yourself. So what is how, I know that that isn't always easy, right? Putting yourself out there and being in front of the camera, so to speak, doing the social media stuff. So how has that been for you? Um, you, you
Yeah,
know,
it's much different marketing a product than marketing yourself. And I'm pretty soft spoken, even when I think I'm not being soft spoken. People would disagree, and I'm fairly introverted. So it's definitely been a learning curve for me, a learning curve that I have not mastered, and still very much a work in progress. Um, been a lot of things that I have had to learn. I really was not very active on social media at all because I'm also a pretty private person. So, yeah, really, trying to find my voice and connect with people and allowing myself to, like, I guess, share myself and find my people and having them find me has been definitely, I would say, one of the most challenging parts of the job.
As Andrew, the snapping realtor, said, you're doing such a good job, and you are. I love some of your reels and even your posts. I think I love watching what you do on social media.
Well, thank
So,
you. I would say the same to you. And
oh,
boy,
thanks.
aren't we lucky to have the snapping realtor who gives us some great advice and encouragement?
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Andrew.
Um, but it is scary doing the reels, right? And especially, we're not 20 something. So,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah, it's
So,
a lot of getting over how you look, how you sound, right?
right. And just putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
So it is definitely, um, you know, taking that jump, that leap of faith and just seeing what sticks. And I don't want to say making fun of ourselves because that's not the right comment, but just it doesn't matter.
maybe
It's
having
all of
fun with ourselves, right?
right, exactly, exactly, and just trying new things and seeing who we connect with.
Yeah. And I think having a community of like-minded people at Compass, being able to share experiences and with, agents like yourself across the country, that that we can, bounce ideas off, and B, like, just having that network for our clients is just has been just such a benefit, I, you know, in this business to have
Right,
that
right,
network.
right, and not taking ourselves so seriously. Exactly.
Right.
That is one thing that I've definitely learned and definitely um, commented on. We can't take ourselves seriously, and some of our reels are funny and some of them are ridiculous, and the ones that do get more views are probably the ones that are a little more ridiculous.
Well, I guess, I mean, people can relate, right? I mean, we all find ourselves in those ridiculous situations, or, I guess it's kind of taking it to the extreme, but it's relatable.
Exactly, exactly. But, eventually we will see a return on it. And it's really just about finding that one person that we connect with.
Right.
Yeah. So, what is the one thing or the one biggest takeaway that you've gotten from any of the groups or masterminds, um, in the time that you've been with Compass? Like, is there one thing that you've appreciated the most?
I mean, I would say not one specific idea, but again, I would say it's agents across the country's willingness to share, um, to collaborate has just been, again, such a gift for me, from, the number of networking calls that I do, whether it be farming mastermind or, social media mastermind. I mean, I'm just wowed all the time about how genuinely people care and want to help, and, are willing to give, their work product or their ideas or their time. um, yeah, I would say that's like the biggest thing for me, being part of a community of people who are just genuine and want to help and collaborate in whatever way possible.
And I think that's one of the principles, right? Collaborate without ego.
Right.
And that's the one that I love the most. And
Absolutely.
and that is the one thing that I have found and I've enjoyed most about Compass is the fact that I could pick up the phone and call anyone that I've met or anyone that I've talked to and problem solve and figure out a situation or, figure out what to do to help a
Yeah.
client to you know prospect to do whatever and get through the slow season that we're in right now or when things are crazy, or how to build a team, or who to bring on first, or whatever the issue is.
All right. Or even, what did you do to get your buyer's offer accepted? And, when you're in this multiple offer situation or this, weird market, like what are people doing, right?
Correct.
How can we help our clients win?
Correct. Or to
And
find resources for
right.
our clients. Yeah.
And Stacy, while I have you, you've done such a nice job interviewing me, but I would love to hear about you and your market, what's going on there. I don't want to miss this opportunity because people do move to Chicago from LA. So tell us what you can.
What would you like to know? We are, it's depending on where you are, where you want to go.
Is the
in
city
some parts
hot right now, or the suburbs, or both?
it depends where it depends on the price point. I'm looking in some parts of the city for people, and prices are coming down in some neighborhoods in the city. In other neighborhoods, things are,
Is
if they're
that
priced
mostly
right.
like townhomes or condos
No,
or?
condos in certain neighborhoods, because there's several of them. Some have been sitting on the market for a while, and it could mean that they need updating. Um, like in the South Loop, there's a lot of inventory. Um, in some parts, like in some of the hotter neighborhoods, like Logan Square, Ukrainian Village, I think if they're priced right, they're going multiple offers still. Single family homes, like in some of the suburbs, there's a lot of inventory. If they're not updated, they may sit for a little longer. If they are updated and they're priced correctly, they're going quickly. So I think in the $300,000 to $500,000 price range, things are going quickly. If it's over between $500,000 to $700,000, $800,000, if it's updated, depending on the suburb, it might go quickly. It might not if it's over. It just depends. Part of the problem is I don't know when school starts for you guys. School starts here in like 3.5, 4 weeks. And
We're in
so
the same boat here.
right? And so a lot of people have already secured housing if they want to start school in the suburbs. So I just met with 2 potential sellers on Monday, and one has a very unique property. Like, and I said to her, I'm like, she wants to try and sell it for sale by owner. And I love Compass's. I don't know if you've seen it. Compass has their for sale by owner like guide.
Uh-huh.
And I
Help
handed it
tips.
to her, right? The helpful tips. And I
Right.
handed it to her. And I knew going in, like it was, you'll do the CMA, you know, we're going to try and sell it. But it's actually my lender's mom. And and I said, the property is really unique. So in order to really sell it on social media, on a website, like on Zillow or wherever, you need to make sure that you take professional pictures. Like you need to show the property.
Right.
And that won't be cheap.
Right.
And you need to make sure that you're marketing it.
Right.
Because a lot of the houses that are being built up around you are all being built by the same builder. They all look the same. The finishes might look a little different, but they're all the open floor plan, whatnot, and that's not what this house is. And she goes, oh. I'm like, that's all stuff I take care of.
Right. It's harder than you think, right? There's more to it than you think.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, if someone is able to do it on their own, I think more power to them, right? But you do want them to be prepared and to know the things that they need to do in order to maximize their sales price.
Right, right. And we're an attorney state. So I said, you need to make sure that you have an attorney that can help you in the event that you get multiple offers. And if and all of those things.
And how to screen and
how to screen, because it's not always the top dollar amount. It's the
right.
other things. So, and
well,
I didn't.
I'm sorry, not, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, and I didn't want to say, and you also need to be able to screen like lenders and all that because I didn't want to get that in
Right.
detail. But
Yeah, I was going to say we had market chatter this morning, and we're kind of in that same boat. It depends on the house, it depends on the area, um, and people definitely are looking at, you know, more cream puff properties, not as interested in the fixers right now. So you're seeing multiple offers, but you're kind of seeing them creep up in price based on a multiple counter. You're not seeing these crazy hundreds of thousands like right out of the gate. But we're also hearing that buyers, even though there's such limited inventory, they're kind of feeling a little bit of control, and they're falling out, you know. So kind of what you said, right? Screening and making sure you choose the right person who's motivated to make it all the way through is no small skill, especially
right,
right now.
right. Yeah, so I mean, it really makes a huge difference. So we just have to make sure that we're keeping our buyers and our sellers educated. And I also have a property that's been sitting on the market because of the area that it's in. And I know it's overpriced, and I have to just keep the seller educated and let
Mm-hmm.
her know that yes, it's overpriced, and hopefully she will eventually come down. She's
Right.
come down a little bit. Now I just have to get her down more so we can eventually sell it. So, yeah,
Keep
it's all
having
fun.
conversations, right? Yeah.
It's sending her the insights from Compass and from our MLS, and letting her
Mm-hmm.
know that we're not getting the showings and we're not getting the people through the open houses. And the fact that we're getting some people, we're not getting feedback, and we're not getting an offer is
That's
feedback
information,
enough.
right? Yeah.
So yeah, and that tells everything. So that's what we need to let people know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got her down a little bit. Eventually, I'll get her down enough, and eventually, I'll get it sold. But it just takes a little bit of time.
Education,
Hello, education is the
right?
key.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yes. So, but everyone has their own time frame, and there's a buyer for every property.
Right, right.
So, yeah. So, but hello, San Francisco Bay Area. So, but I don't want to keep you. So, I do appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to chat with you and learn a little bit more about your market. Um,
Yes.
and appreciate you taking the time to learn little bit more about mine. Always here
Yes,
to help and collaborate, and I know that we'll be talking many more times in the future.
absolutely. And have a great day.
Thank
And thank you,
you.
everyone, for stopping by. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Stacy.
Bye.
Bye bye.